Their first TV interview since Ozzy's recovery from a major operation. Chris Conley sat down with them, and he joins us now.
Who is patient number?
Sharon Osbourne has been standing by
Sharon Osbourne has been standing by her husband Ozzy through everything.
And has been
they call him the
for over 50 years. But now Sharon is facing the hardest. Ozzy is very sick and getting worse.
That severely affects the nervous system, impairing movement, muscle control, and balance.
He also had many operations
when the news first
of darkness, and he's been a rock star for over 50 years.
The doctors
but now
say
Sharon is facing the hardest time of.
Sharon has been taking care of him for more than 40 years. She's not just his wife; she's also his
broke.
Best friend.
Fans were left in shock, struggling to come to terms with the heartbreaking reality that their idol was facing an invisible life.
Sad or scared.
Ozzy
Even though Ozzy
is very sick and getting
Sharon
worse every day.
Something special.
Ozzy has a disease called
wants
Parkinson's.
To give him one last concert with
Ozzy Osbourne, the man who toyed with the line between life and death like a game, is now facing his final limit.
Visible and relentless enemy. But the real shock came when Sharon Osbourne shared the latest update in an emotional interview with
that makes his hands shake and his body weak. He also had many operations on his back that didn't help much.
And in that silent darkness, Sharon Osbourne, his wife, doesn't need to scream to let the world
know, revealing that Ozzy's condition had progressed to the point where he could no longer walk on his own. For those who have seen,
now he can't walk anymore and has to use a wheelchair. The doctors say there isn't much more they can do to help him.
Something terrifying is happening. In 2003, at the peak of his career, Ozzy was diagnosed.
Ozzy Osbourne on stage, the image of the Prince of Darkness, the once immortal rock icon who once rocked.
Sharon has been taking care of Ozzy for more than 40 years. She's not just his wife, she's also been his manager, his best friend.
Diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, but he kept it hidden. The type of Parkinson's Ozzy has is a rare variant.
The stage with his wild dance moves, now struggling with the simplest of movements, is unimaginable.
But Sharon didn't give up on him.
And now she's like his nurse, too. She helps him eat, helps him get dressed, and stays with him when he feels
PRKN2 hereditary and deeply affecting physical movement, particularly the legs and spine.
Those who know Parkinson's, they know how cruel the disease can be. It is a progressive disease that impairs mobility.
Sad or scared. Even though Ozzy is very sick, Sharon is planning something special for him. She wants to give.
The terrifying part is that it doesn't impair cognition. Ozzy is fully aware, acutely conscious of what his
balance and muscle control, making everyday activities an unpredictable challenge. Sharon said that while the family
give him one last concert with his old band Black Sabbath. They're planning to have this show on July 5th in Birmingham.
He's losing day by day. But the tragedy didn't stop there. Just months after the Parkinson's diagnosis,
they had hoped to slow the degenerative process with the most advanced treatments. The reality was much harsher than they had anticipated.
England.
People loved
this is the city where Black Sabbath first became famous many years ago.
Sharon, every day is a new struggle, not only for Ozzy, but also for his family, as they watch the once powerful man who rocked the world.
Who knows this might be the last time Ozzy will ever perform on stage. She's working very hard to make everything.
His neck, 8 ribs, his collarbone, and suffered a lung hemorrhage. Ozzy was unconscious for
the world of rock, slowly lose control of his own body.
To help support his spine. Ozzy survived, but he was in a lot of pain.
Perfect. She's talking to doctors to make sure Ozzy will be okay during the show. She's also getting a special chair made for him.
8 straight days.
He fell down.
Doctors at the time estimated his chance of death at over 80%. After the accident,
it has caused him to have terrible nerve pain.
When they first received the diagnosis, they tried to stay positive, believing that life might change a little.
So he can sit while he sings instead of having to stand up. The story of Sharon and Ozzy's love goes back many years. Sharon first met
his neck and back were stabilized with metal rods to maintain bone structure.
Their hands
In
shake.
2019, during a nighttime walk,
but they would adapt
Sharon
and
tried
carry
to be
on as
brave when she
before.
told people about
Sharon
Ozzy's
even
Parkinson's
reassured
disease.
fans by saying,
She said it wasn't
"This
going
is
to
not a
kill
death
him.
sentence."
Ozzy
But
in
she knew it would make
1970 when she was
life
just
much harder
18
for
years
both of
old.
them.
Her
She
father
was
was a
right.
music
The
manager, and
disease
Sharon
made
worked for
Ozzy
him as
much
a secretary.
weaker, and he needed more help
his
with
home.
everything.
Ozzy tripped a
2019 and
seemingly
2023,
harmless fall
Ozzy
that
had
caused the
7
rods
different
from
operations on his
2003
spine.
to shift.
Each time Sharon
Compressed-
hoped the surgery would help him feel
But now,
better
looking
and
back,
be able to walk
she admits
normally
that
again.
they underestimated
But each
the
operation
disease.
seemed to make him weaker.
The truth
instead of
is,
stronger.
Parkinson's
Ozzy was
After
the
last
singer for
surgery
Black
in late
Sabbath,
2023,
and
the doctors
they
told
were
them there
becoming
was
very
nothing more
famous
they could do.
with scary
Sharon
songs
watched
that
her
some
husband
his
change
spinal
from a
nerves.
wild rock star
From
who
then
could
on,
jump around on
the
stage
pain
to a
became
man who
chronic,
couldn't even stand up
unrelieved
without
by
her.
any
It
medication.
broke her heart.
affects not
But she
only the
never let
physical
Ozzy
but
see
also
how
the
sad
mental,
she was.
eroding
She
the
always
hope and
tried to be
optimism
positive
that the
and
family
strong
had
for him.
tried to
Ozzy
maintain.
hated
people
not
didn't
being
like.
able
Sharon
to
saw
do
something
things for
special
himself.
in Ozzy
He
that
felt
other
like he was a
people didn't
burden on
see.
Sharon
She
and
could
their
tell
family.
he was
But
talented
Sharon
and
never
just
made him
needed
feel
someone.
that way.
His fingers
She would tell
curled
him he was
inward.
still her king
His
and that
feet
she
went
loved
numb.
taking care of him.
I feel like
By
there's a saw
2024,
blade
Ozzy
running
couldn't
down my
tour anymore.
spine.
Sharon had to
From a
announce
wife
that his
and
body
manager
was
who had
too
accompanied
weak to
Ozzy for
handle
many
performing
years,
concerts.
Sharon now
This was
became a
very hard for
full-time
both of
carer
them
for her
because
husband.
music was
To
Ozzy's
believe in him.
whole life.
But
He
they
loved
didn't
being
start
on stage
dating right
and
away
making people
because
happy with his
Ozzy was
songs.
married to
Even
someone
though he
else and had
couldn't
2
tour,
children.
Ozzy
Every
still made a
morning,
new
when
album
I
in
wake up,
2022 called
Ozzy once
Patient Number
described,
9. He worked
that
with other
accident
famous
marked Ozzy's
musicians like
official
Jeff
entry
Beck.
into the
Sharon was
disease-driven.
proud of him for
Witnessing
still
every
making
moment of
music.
his struggle
But
with
she
his
could see
own
how
body.
much it hurt him to even
Every
sit in the
day she
studio.
faced
In
uncontrollable
2025, Sharon
changes.
had to share
Why-
more bad news.
In
Ozzy couldn't walk at all
1979,
anymore
something
and had to
bad
use a
happened to
wheelchair all the
Ozzy.
time.
His
He
band
needed help
Black
with
Sabbath
everything.
kicked him out
Eating,
because he
Even
getting
phase of his
dressed,
life,
and moving
a
around
period
the
where
house.
the only thing
Sharon
still
became like
intact
his full-time
was
nurse
his
on
voice.
top of being his wife.
Ozzy began
Their
a
children,
grueling series.
Watching
Kelly and
Ozzy
Jack,
struggle with the
helped
simplest
take care of
tasks,
their father too.
from getting up from
Kelly
a chair
comes
to
over
trying
and
to
plays
take a
his
few
old
steps.
music really loud to
Despite
try
her
to make him
dedication
smile.
to
He was drinking
Jack
too
set
much
up a music
alcohol
studio
and
in
causing
their
too
house
many
so
problems.
Ozzy could
Ozzy was
still
very
record
upset and
songs
thought
while
his
sitting
music
there.
career was
The
over.
whole
He went to
family
a
is
hotel
working
room and
together
Series
to
of
help Ozzy
surgeries,
and support
2019
Sharon.
first
Sharon
surgery
admits that
to
watching
stabilize
Ozzy
the
get
shifted
sicker is the
rods,
hardest thing
but it
she's ever
failed
had to
due
do.
to infection.
She's been
Ensuring
with
he
him for
received
over
the best
40
care,
years, and she
the
can't
harsh
imagine
reality
life
weighed
without
not
him.
only on
But she's
Ozzy,
not giving up
but
on him
also
even
on the
now.
entire
That's why
Osbourne
she's
family.
planning the
drank
special
more alcohol,
concert for July
feeling sorry
2025.
for himself.
She
But
called Tony
Sharon didn't
Iommi,
give up on him.
who was
She
Ozzy's
went to his
bandmate
hotel
in Black
room and told him
Sabbath, and asked if they could do one last
2020
show
doctors
together.
discovered a
At first,
pus-filled
Tony wasn't
abscess
sure because
near his
Ozzy
spine
was so
surgery
sick.
was needed
But when
to drain
Ozzy
it.
heard about the
Family.
idea, he said he wanted
Their
to do it.
children, who had
Sharon
grown
is
up in the
working
glamour
very
of
hard
fame,
to make
were
this
now
concert
faced with
happen.
the reality
She's
that
talking
their
to doctors
invincible
about
father
what
he wasn't
medicines
finished.
Ozzy will
She
need
said
and
she
how
would
to
help
keep
him become
comfortable
even
during
more
the show.
famous than
She's
he was
having a special
before.
throne made for him
This
to
was the
sit on
beginning
while
of
he
their
sings,
love
so he'll look like a king on
2022,
stage.
his most
The concert is
extensive
planned for
surgery,
Villa
removing
Park in
all neck
Birmingham,
rods and
which is
reinserting them
perfect
from
because
scratch,
that's where Black Sabbath
and the
first
most
Hitler was
came
slowly
from.
losing his grip.
Fans are already very
Sharon,
excited, and
who had held
tickets sold
everything
out in
together
just a
from
few
her
hours.
husband's career to
People
their
are calling
home,
it the
was now
greatest heavy
facing the
metal
story
farewell
and their
concert
business
ever.
partnership.
Sharon knows this might
Sharon
be the
helped
last time
Ozzy
anyone
make
will
his
see
first
Ozzy
solo
perform.
album in
She wants it to be
1980
perfect
called
for
Recent,
him,
September
for their family,
2023.
and for all the fans
Ozzy
who have
afterward
loved his
declared,
music for so
"This
many
is the
years."
last time
She's
I go
working
under
on
the
every
knife."
detail to make
Possibility
sure
that
nothing
they
goes
might
wrong.
one day have
Some
to say
days when they
goodbye
practice
forever.
at home,
But
Ozzy
until then,
seems like his
she was
old
there for
self
Ozzy,
again.
fighting
His voice still
alongside
sounds
Lizard
strong
of
when he
Oz.
sings songs like Iron Man and Paranoid.
The album had a song
Sharon
called Crazy
watches
Train
it
that
and
became
feels
very
proud and
popular.
sad at the same time.
Sharon organized
She's
his
proud because
I
he's
can't
still
take it
fighting.
anymore.
But sad
These
because she
surgeries
knows
didn't
this is
just tear his
probably
body
it.
apart.
Other
They
days are much
weakened his
harder.
central nervous
Sometimes Sometimes Ozzy forgets
him,
the words
hoping for miracles, and most of all, doing everything she could to ensure that her husband could spend his final days surrounded.
Sharon took care of all his business. She was really good at her job and helped make Ozzy even more famous than when he was with Black Sabbath.
Combined with Parkinson's, Ozzy lost nearly all ability to signal movement. His physical condition collapsed.
And by family, love,
Sharon
and
doesn't
music
sleep much
that
anymore
never
because she
died.
worries about Ozzy all the time. She drinks a lot of coffee to stay awake and take care.
They got married in 1982 and had 3 children together,
but she won't let
Amy,
anyone else
Kelly,
take care
and
of it.
Jack.
The doctors
Sharon,
told
his
Sharon
immune
that
system
Ozzy's body
became
is
fragile.
near its limit.
In January
think he has much time
2019,
left.
he was
This
hospitalized
makes
for
Sharon
pneumonia,
even more determined
spending
to
12
make
days.
that final concert. She wants the world to remember
After
Ozzy
years
as
of
the
health
amazing
uncertainty,
performer he was.
Sharon
Not as a sick
Osbourne
man
has
in a
finally
wheelchair.
Kept managing
Fans
Ozzy's
from
career
all
while
over the
also
world
being
are
a
coming
mom.
to Birmingham
She was
for the
always the
concert.
strong one in the
Some of them are
family who
already
kept
camping
everyone
outside
together
the
when
venue,
things got
even though
crazy.
it's still
Ozzy
months
He's in
away.
the ICU.
They're holding signs
3
that
years
say
later.
Ozzy forever.
Ozzy tested positive for COVID-19 while Sharon was filming a
confirmed that Ozzy Osbourne is preparing to bid a final farewell to the stage. For a rock legend like Ozzy,
became famous for doing wild things on stage. One time he bit the head off a real bat during a concert. It was an accident, but people never forgot about it.
Talk show in the UK.
When he had
she immediately canceled all TV contracts.
Now she's trying to
flew back to the U.S. within 48 hours.
This is not only a difficult decision, but also an emotional moment in music history.
She'll be happy to see
on July 5th, 2025.
But she'll also
Sharon just laughed about these crazy things and helped turn them into more publicity for Ozzy.
Ready to let him
in
go,
2002,
she knows she might have to soon.
And cared for him every minute.
I've
never seen him so weak. Sharon shared.
Through his illness.
It was the first.
Proven that
Ozzy will perform a special Back to the Beginning show in his hometown of Birmingham, where it all began.
This will
their family became even more famous when they had a TV show called The Osbournes.
Will be Sharon's final gift to AZ
people
and to
loved
all the fans.
First time Ozzy needed a breathing mask and continuous oxygen for nearly 2 weeks. This condition forced Ozzy to cancel his